Hello, everyone. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Kelly, and today we are going to be working out of these 3 books from Maremi's Small Art, Marta Lepkowska. So we've got the Essenziali backgrounds, whispers between the music notes. We've got this little book here that is a beauty, Fairies in Bloom, and the butterflies. So sit back, relax, and let's begin. This is the last page I did and filmed. I have been sick with a cold, so you may not hear me speak as much today. I'm trying to preserve my voice and also keep from coughing. So this is the page we did with images about ancient Egypt and the love of the iris that the ancient Egyptians loved to use and to grow. Today we are working out of these beautiful books I just showed. So this is a page from the backgrounds, whispers between the notes. And I have not done a flip through of this beautiful book, but I have the others. So you get all sorts of backgrounds, both front and back, with lots of writing and music notes, beautiful, soft, vintage backgrounds, something for everyone, different colors. I got this so that I could have some more options for not only backgrounds, but also options for embedding images, using them on other pages, combining, mixing, all sorts of fun. And some of these colors are just wonderful. And pages like this, you don't have to leave intact. You can cut them out line by line and use the different elements. She even gives a bonus page. So Marta does have a YouTube channel as well as a Facebook group. So you can jump on her channel and see what she's up to. But let's begin with our beautiful images. I'm going to show you the different images that we're going to be working with today. So these are all of them that we're going to be working with. And I've got some smaller pieces that I may incorporate as well. So what I want to do first is get this background down. And then we'll start building. Now you'll notice that I am skipping some areas, and that is on purpose. beautiful colors on this. Now, those of you who know me, who have been with me from the beginning, or even just a short time, I do pre-cut my images. I always, or mostly, fussy cut my images ahead of time to save you guys the time from having to watch me do that. Because to give you an example, this butterfly, some of the flowers, I really take my time to fussy cut around leaves, things like that. So I really want to do it slow and take my time so that I get the maximum benefit of these images. So we're going to work with her first. I've already pre-cut where I want to work with this image. And I can tuck in and then leave some of it overlapping on the top. But just bear with me as I play and see exactly how much I want to expose. I believe I want to put her right there. Now these music notes right down here, you'll see some white where I've cut away because I wanted a clean line to go around this beauty right here. So we're actually going to embed her in the music notes. And how I did that was I cut on either side of this piece of music notes. I decided where I wanted her, and then I cut on either side, leaving this side intact so that now I can slip her in, and when I glue it down, it looks like she's behind the music notes. And that's an effect that I wanted to actually accomplish. So I just have to decide if I want her feet on the edge, and I believe that I do. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get her down, and then I'll glue this on top of her. And these are ways that you can add, as you've heard me say before, interest and intrigue to your pages. So I've got her down in the background. Now I want to get the music notes down on top of her. And if you cut it in such a way that you cut it along the lines, when you glue it down, it doesn't look like it's been cut. It seamlessly goes right back down onto the page. gonna put some more glue over here. Okay, now comes the play part with some of these other images. Today I'm going to show you how to make not a butterfly, not a firefly or a dragonfly, but a fairy fly. That's right, we're inventing a fairy fly. And I am taking butterflies from this book here, and I'm going to show you how you can select. This is a perfect example. You've got a large, medium, and a small. You even have a gigantic. So if you take all 4 of these, you can layer them together. And that's what we're going to do. So you see how there's 4 sizes and even a 5th. So you can really make your fairy flies elaborate. So the fussy cutting on this, you don't have to leave the antenna. If you don't want to, you can always draw in the antenna. The antenna are very tiny, almost impossible to fussy cut and to get them perfect. So I usually choose not to keep those because they're very hard and very tiny. The most I've done, to give you an example, is some stems. I've even done some bird feet. I've done the stems here. So they're somewhat difficult to do, so I usually choose not to. I'm getting some of my pieces so that I can work with them. So I've got 4 sizes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this beauty down first. And I'm gonna get this one all the way down to the page. So this is the larger of the 4. Then I'm going to take the next one. And I'm only going to glue the body because I want those wings popping up off the page. And I'm going to glue it right on top of the previous. I'm going to give that a moment to tack. And because it is smaller, you get to see the layers. I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, just the body. Right on top of that one. Give that a moment to tack. So these are fairy flies. They've got gorgeous ruffled wings. And the last one. Now the last one has a real tiny body, so I'm going to do a little bit of the wings as well, just to give it some stabilization. And again, right on top. So I'm going to give those a moment to tack and get down solidly while I play with some of these other elements. I don't know that I'm going to use all of them. These were so tiny to cut that I ended up breaking them off, but you can always add them back. Something like that. So I'm going to get this piece down first. And I love that she's got words and music notes. If I don't use an element on this page, I will use it for a future project. Okay, so our fairy flies. Each layer is glued down well. And if you just fluff up the wings a bit, and let me show you that. Let me get these off the page so they don't fall. You see, it creates a three-dimensional element for your pages. So if you don't glue down the entire wing, you can pop it up. It becomes a beautiful 3D element that when it lays flat, it's flat, but when the page is turned, the wings will pop back up. And how you do that is just by bringing them up so that they have a memory to them. And there is the fairy fly. Okay, now I love this little beautiful bird. But I want something else. So this is my texture basket where I have all my textures. And I'm not quite sure which direction I want to go. I've got multiple colors. But I don't want the element to be so bright that it detracts from the rest of the elements. I don't want anything super bright. So I'm just gonna take this out and try it. It's got purple. So let me see how this, and I'm not gonna use the whole square. I wanna see how the elements, okay, I am loving that. There is no purple on here per se. You have pinks and grays. It looks like there's some melding between the pink and gray that make it look like a lilac of sorts. But if you really look at it, it's more pinks and grays, which can give a lilac tone. This pops it to a whole new level, which I like what it's doing, but I don't want the whole piece. So what I want to decide, I'm going to have to cut it. And you don't have to use a whole square. You can just use a piece of it, because it's just gonna basically be peeking out behind our beautiful bird. And it's not wanting to glue down, so I'm gonna have to put more. This is where my hands are gonna get really gluey, but that's okay. Because with this Mono Aqua, Tombow Mono Aqua liquid glue, when you rub your hands together, the glue dries and rolls off. Okay. Okay, that's better. So think about adding some texture, some odd textures, and just lay it down like we did to see what it's going to look like and how it's going to look with the rest of the colors. And on these images too, and I'll show you this, you don't have to cut out everything. This is where I fussy cut this main flower here. You can see I didn't go for the tiny stems or the tiny leaves that were attached to the bud. I went around those. Now, these variegated leaves, you see where it looks like I cut in between each and every crenellation on that leaf, but I did not. So a trick, you'll see some of the leaf is still there. What I do is I go inside the actual line and I wiggle cut. That gives me that effect without having to go in and out of each and every leaf. That way you don't get all those white bits. You get an image that's got some edge to it, but yet it doesn't have all the white bits where you missed. It's a technique to go inside the line and wiggle cut it so that you can actually get a variegated leaf like this one. It makes it easier to cut, and it makes it look like you followed every single line when you actually didn't. So it's a trick. Now before he's fully down, I want to get not this beauty, but this beauty. Underneath him. The reason why I put him down first is so I can get this in the right, proper place. I'm gonna put some more on the crown. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me here. And for those of you who have stuck with me, I am about to do a show and tell of my next project. So if you're still here with me and you stayed put, my next project is going to be working out of these two books here. Now what I will do is I am going to do a flip through of these books because they are so involved in their imagery. And the imagery is so rich. I don't want to not do a flip through. And these books are by Lisa Wang. So this is my next project. So if you want to see what I get up to next, subscribe so that we can visit again. I would love to have you as part of our little family group. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you on the next one.